The majority of European Commission grants are based on consortium bids. Horizon 2020, probably 80% of the budget goes to consortia. And a consortium is really based on the Commission's idea that we gain by working together and that Europe benefits from the fact that people understand each other. A lot of people I speak to about European Commission bids say, but I don't want to work with competitors. And this completely misunderstands the European Commission's position, because a consortium typically exists of somebody who's developing a technology, a user industry sector, a research institution that's providing some specific input, perhaps a university, and some representatives of end users. So this might be, for example, somebody designing a new gearbox, a large automotive company that would potentially use that gearbox, a university perhaps that's working on lubricants or low resistance materials to aid the functioning of that gearbox, and then some end users, and the end users might be some automotive dealerships. They could actually be some consumers groups like the AA in the UK, and that would then be a consortium. And the consortium is a jigsaw. It's the pieces that represent everything from the development of the new technology through to its application in the marketplace. And what the Commission wants to see in the consortium is all of those pieces without any additional pieces, unnecessary pieces. So they ask a question about the complementarity of the consortium. And that really means, how do all those partners fit together to represent that value chain? And are there any redundant partners in that list? Because they don't want to see that. In other words, they want to see a good fit between the partners. There is sometimes a little overlap. You may have two partners who have similar interests, but often then is demonstrated in the proposal that the group of people working in the project from one organisation will be addressing this issue, and from another organisation will be addressing a different issue. So the whole is consistent and there are not overlaps. There are issues about presenting the consortium in a proposal. People are asked to give profiles of both the organisation and of the people involved. The profiles of the organisation are often taken from websites or from company documents. And so I have seen examples where a university partner was described as having been founded in the 14th century and having generated a whole list of very famous literary figures, authors, which is totally inappropriate to an IT project. What the proposal should have covered was the fact that this university has a world-leading IT department with several people active in the field covered by the proposal. In the same way, when you look at the individuals that each consortium member puts forward to participate in the project, you get the same problem. I've seen proposals where one of the bits of information about the project manager was the fact that he played badminton. Whereas, having described perhaps the project management training that that person had, the number of major projects that person had worked on, and the fact that the person has used Microsoft Project in managing projects for the last 8 years, would be a much more effective response to that question. So the consortium has got to make sense. It's got to make sense in terms of taking a technology from invention through to the market. It's got to represent all the relevant players without redundancy. And there's got to be a good description of each of the partners and the team they're putting forward.